Hey guys, what's up everyone? Welcome to Young Titan World. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. If we're having this chat right now, it means that it's not a TV show we're gonna talk about. It's not a movie, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm just really big on talking. I don't know, usually when there's a lot of stuff in my head, I can't really quantify how much goes on up there, but I do know for a fact that it becomes less when I talk about it. It becomes less of a struggle to have to think about the things that are going through my mind when I'm actually making words out of them. And I guess that's how it makes sense in this case. So, we all have these moments in time where things feel a little bit overwhelming. Sometimes I consider the people around me to be very, very important to me, and so do their opinions matter. Sometimes you can't really tell them that you're going through certain things because they don't really have an ear to hear. Like, you can't blame them though. You see, that's also one of the things that compromises my logic. It's that I can't blame people for not understanding how I feel, and I also at the same time cannot understand why they're not that interested. Because it seems like, for instance, when a friend of mine or when someone I know is going through a bad moment, I feel bad for them. I think about them. I check up on them. I'm like, what's going on with you? How are things going? What can I do to help? And, it was just recently that I was told that rather than keep the pain and the uncomfortable processes inside my head and share it with someone, I should basically do that. Yeah, that I should do all of that. All that I just said, I should do it. And I guess I did, but there was no feedback. And there was no feedback like, oh my gosh, how are you doing? How's it going? And it kind of put me in this case where I began thinking, was it worth it though? Why should I have to do it if I'm not getting anything in return? Why put myself out there if they're just going to ignore me and just continue talking about their problems? If you ask me, I think it's absolute poppycock. It probably doesn't mean anything. It probably has no right to be such a big deal to me, but it is. I don't know why exactly I am so emotional when it comes to the people around me and how much they matter in my life, but they do. So it becomes a complete punch in the gut when I realize that even as much as I sacrifice a lot of time and effort into how their well-being is, it's not reciprocated onto the same level. I can't mention names. I can't crucify anyone, because even if I did, there is nothing that's going to come off it. It's like you've called it out a million times. You've talked about it thousands of times, but it never gets addressed. It never gets the attention that is needed, because at the end of the day, they're not me. I could remember so much out of a very little situation that they don't even remember at all. For instance, I can remember one particular time that all I had to do was show up, just be there for the person. But I went a step further, decided to call other people to go show up for them, and just make sure that it wasn't a moment that was, I can't get into the details right now. And it sounds like I'm being petty. And it does feel like that sometimes. It's like no matter how much effort you put into something, you're never appreciated. You could sacrifice your days, you could sacrifice your nights trying to make them feel better. But at the end of it, they're just gonna forget about it. But you cannot keep holding on to it. You can't keep fighting to make them realize that you have done so much for them. Because if you keep on reminding yourself that, oh my gosh, I have sacrificed so much for you, and you never even said thank you, it's that kind of poison that will eat you up from the inside. That pain does not go away unless you let it go. Some people are not worth the effort you put into them. Sometimes it's just how it is. Some don't appreciate how hard you work because they assume that it's easy for everyone, because they've seen other people do it. They've seen other people sacrifice their time and money for pretty much the same person, okay? Some of them make it seem effortless. Some of them have the means to do so. And it doesn't mean that they put a lot of hard work into it. It just means that, at that point, it's convenient for them to do it. If you have the cash to actually go buy someone a car, that's great, right? You have the money to do that. It doesn't really cross your mind that, oh my gosh, this is going to put a dent in my account. It doesn't do anything. But then there's the other guy who goes to loan money from a bunch of people just to get you a rickety old car. But he does that because he cares. I'm using this example only for an example. It's not something that exists. If somebody is going through such a thing, I really admire your intent to help this person out, get them vehicle for transportation. That's a little bit far out, isn't it? Anyways, the point is, sometimes your efforts may go unnoticed. Sometimes it will be as if you never did anything for them. But I can tell you one thing though, it never is like that. Sometimes giving should not be about hoping the person gets you anything back in return, or a person remembers you on a certain day. It could be that you've given and they'll never speak to you again. It could be that you've given and they have forgotten about you the moment you gave it to them. It could be the moment that you decided to help them. They've already assumed that they're never going to give it back to you. It doesn't matter. Because once you've given, that act itself is a blessing. That act itself is a testament of what you're capable of. It shows the world that you are not just trying to keep to yourself. You're not a hoarder. You're not a person whose intentions lie deep in your pockets. You're showing that you are more than that. And givers never lack. But I will say this. Sometimes we're on different sides of the spectrum. Sometimes we're the people that are always getting stuff. Sometimes we're the people that are getting the things and we don't know how to give because we do not find an opportunity. We do not have an opportunity to give. It seems rather inconvenient, It's like, oh my gosh, you have so much money to give other people. I wish I even had money to take care of myself. Maybe it's time you also let go of that logic. You see, the one thing I've found is that you are embracing what you are. The older you become, whatever mindset that you have is what you get. If you believe that you are bigger or you are understanding, you will become more understanding. You're opening your mind to the possibility of you being more understanding. Your brain is wired in a way to believe what you think. If you're constantly thinking, oh, I'm always in debt, oh, I don't have money for stuff like this, oh, this is too extravagant, oh my God, I have to save money or else I wouldn't even have anything to eat, that's exactly how your world is going to be limited by that thought process each and every single day. Now, I'm not saying go splurge your entire cash and tell yourself you're a rich ass dude, but put yourself in a different shoe. Let your mind wander. Do not limit it to what you are. Do not limit it to what's happening around you. You are more than that. You are greater than that. It's sad sometimes when some people put themselves in boxes. I see so much potential in everyone that I have as a friend. Some piss me off. Some make me so mad I never want to talk to them ever again. But deep down, I see what they can do. I see that the entire world can see what they can do. But they don't. They limit themselves to settling down, getting a wife. Oh my God, on low-key, that is straight fire, okay? It's great that you want to start a family. But you're also capable of so much more. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you always think of yourself as small, you will be small. Sometimes we're always just looking for approval from other people. We want others to tell us we're good enough. I know I'm a victim to that too. But there are some days where I don't give a fuck. And that's where I'm strongest, when I don't give a fuck. Because when you don't give a fuck, it doesn't matter whether the world loves you or it doesn't. Bitch, there are a lot of people that are out there that do not know what they're doing. They have no fucking idea how they even got where they got to. But they've got courses and classes that you're supposed to take in order to become them. But the truth is, they don't know diddly squat. So why do you even have to chase them in the first place? I don't know what I'm doing. Honestly, I don't. But I know what has worked. I know that even regardless of what ethics I use, whatever strategies that I put before myself, I know one thing, that God is in control of everything. That's pretty much the baseline of everything that works out. It's God through and through. It's not magic, voodoo, superpowers, or precognition abilities on anime level crazy. No. It's the fact that my Father in heaven is there and I speak to him. I'm not by myself making decisions. Every step is a step that I've committed into the hands of God. But some people, it's like religion always makes it feel like you always need to enter into a church and, commune with God. Oh my gosh, you're so sinful. Let the priest have a look at you and let him pray on your behalf. I mean, if you're created from him, don't you have access to what everyone else has? Rather than always telling yourself that you're not worthy, you must say to yourself, you're worthy. Your humility should only be to God, not his creations. You respect authority, but you don't worship them, do you? Because that would be straight. It wouldn't make sense. It would not make sense. I don't know. I thought I was going to be venting, talking about my problems, talking about everything that is fucked up. A situation of what went wrong. Now, usually when gamers are in a competition or when people who are parts of these gaming communities, they Whether you're playing football or you're playing volleyball, when it comes to that time that a team loses, there's always that interview and they ask them, what went wrong during the match? What do you think went wrong? And they come up with all these reasons and all of these paths, every single possible explanation that fits the criteria so perfectly that the fans would be like, you know what, they're right. If they did that, if that wasn't the case, if they were put in that situation, they probably would have been more successful. But in that moment, they still lost. So, you can't cheat that situation. It can stare at you straight in the face. Or you still gotta tell yourself that, nah, I'd win. I'd win regardless. Regardless of whatever it is, regardless of how hard it hurts, or how hard it hits, how much it hurts, you're gonna win. Remember that. Every single time. And no motivational speeches, people. Just truth. Fucking hell. I'm gonna go now. Bye, guys. Talk to you guys later. Tomorrow.